Today we're going to be talking about the order of operations. So the order of operations is something you should have used in the past. So today's really more of a review of what that entails. So the first word I want to define is the absolute value. So absolute value, as you should recall, is the distance from 0 on a number line. Okay, and so that's just always a positive number because the distance from 0 is going to be positive. So even if you're going to -2, that is 2 steps away from 0. So that's why it would be a positive number. Okay, so your distance is always positive here, so absolute values are always positive. So the absolute value of -13, that is 13 steps away from 0. So our answer would be 13. The absolute value of 21 would be 21. The absolute value of -3 is 3, plus the absolute value of -5 is 5, and then 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, so then we have 9 and -8. So the absolute value of 9 is 9. The absolute value of -8 is 8. 9 plus 8 is going to give you 17. The absolute value of -12 is 12. The absolute value of 15 is 15. And when you add those together, you get 27. Now here, we need to make sure that we are doing our subtraction first because these absolute value symbols are also grouping symbols. Okay, so we want to do everything inside of that grouping symbol first, and then we can continue solving if there's more to do. So we're going to do 21 minus 17, and that is 4. So we bring down our absolute value bars, and the absolute value of 4 is 4. All right, so again, we're going to do what's inside of the absolute value bars first. So the absolute value of -11 is 11. The absolute value of -5 is 5. And we're going to do 11 minus 5, and that's going to give us 6. The absolute value of 4 is 4, minus the absolute value of -4, which is also 4. And 4 minus 4 is 0. Again, we're going to do the grouping first. So 15 minus 23, that's a -8. And then the absolute value of -8 is a +8. Down here for number 10, we have the absolute value of 24, and that's 24. The absolute value of -15 is a +15, and 24 minus 15 is 9. For number 11, we have the absolute value of 28, which is 28. The minus brings down, and then the -26, the absolute value of that is a +26, which means we have 28 minus 26, and that is 2. Right, and then the last one, the absolute value of -3 is 3, minus the absolute value of 19 is 19. 3 minus 19 is -16. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move down the page. So I'm going to go ahead and clear all of this. And now we're going to scroll down. So the order of operations is next. And we're going to just review what this is. So the order of operations is a process. It's when you're simplifying expression using a specific order. So we are simplifying an expression and we're using a specific order. So our order of operations here, we're going to use something slightly different. You may have used it last year. We use GEMDAS. So GEMDAS. Okay, so GEMDAS. So for our G, that stands for our grouping symbols. That's all of our parentheses, our absolute value signs, our brackets, our braces. Anything that's grouping things together is considered a grouping symbol, so that'll fall under G. Also in a grouping symbol would be if you have a problem with it looks like a fraction, but there's work to do on the top or the bottom. That would be a grouping symbol as well, and you need to group the stuff that's either on the top or the bottom together first before you can go ahead and simplify. So we'll show you what that looks like. On number 16 in the examples is what I'm kind of talking about. So the E is exponents. The MB, that is multiplication division from left to right. Let's do. Okay. And then addition, subtraction, also from left to right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and check out the examples. I'm only gonna do a few of them, and then I'm gonna have you pause the video, try them on your own, and then we'll talk about them. So for number 13, we're gonna go ahead and try that one. So we have 7 plus 54 divided by 3 times parentheses 2. Okay, so what this is telling us to do is that we need to use our order of operations to solve this. So what we should be doing is what? Well, let's look. We have our grouping symbols, which is here. There's nothing inside the grouping symbols, so we're just going to leave that as is. Okay, our next step is exponents. There are no exponents here, so we're good. Multiplication, division from left to right. So I'm going to look here, 7 plus 54, no. Divided by 3, yes. Times 2, also yes. So we're going to look at this part here, and we want to start at the leftmost part and then work our way to the right. So we're going to do 54 divided by 3, and 54 divided by 3 will give you 18. Bring down the times 2. So now I'm doing 18 times 2, and that is 36. And now I have no more multiplication or division, so I'm going to go ahead and do my addition. So 36 plus 7 will give me 43. And that's my answer. Okay, so I want you to try number 14. Keep in mind, you have an exponent this time, so make sure, remember, with exponents, you're not doing that number times the exponent, it's the base number, that 2, 5 times. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So use that hint to solve 14. Pause the video and come back when you're ready. For number 14, what we're going to do is we're going to head and start with the exponent because there are no grouping symbols here. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 gives me 32. Remember, it's not 2 times 5. It is not that. It is 2 times itself for a total of 5 times. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down 17. Bring down the minus. 2 to the 5th power is 32 divided by 4 plus 6. So now I can go ahead and do the next part. I have no more exponents, so multiplication, division from left to right. That's subtraction. Here we do have division and addition. So we're going to do our division first. So 32 divided by 4, that's 8. So minus 8 plus 6. And now I can go ahead and go from there. Do 17 minus 8. That's going to give me 9. And then plus 6. And 9 plus 6 is 15. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to have you try number 15. So pause the video and come back when you're ready. All right, for number 15, you're going to start by doing your exponents first. So we have 24 minus 16, because 4 to the 2nd power is 16, times 3 plus 15. So next, we don't have any more exponents. We're going to do multiplication, division, and that's our 16 times 3. But keep in mind, this is a negative 16 times 3. So we're going to go ahead and do negative 16 times 3. Or if you do 16 times 3, just make sure you bring down the subtraction. So we're going to do 24 minus 16 times 3 is 48 plus 15. So now I can go ahead and keep solving. 24 minus 48 is negative 24. And then bring down the plus 15. Negative 24 plus 15 is a negative 9. Okay, so number 16 is what I was talking about earlier with the grouping symbols being that division bar. So we're going to solve everything on the top and we're going to solve everything on the bottom before we can do that division, even if division is technically supposed to come first, okay? So we're going to do all of our grouping on the top and then all of our grouping on the bottom before we move past the grouping part. So I'm going to focus on one part of each, the top and the bottom, as we work through. So first step for the top, we have 7 minus 2 squared, and that's all in parentheses, plus 17. So the first thing I want to do is look in my parentheses here. So I have 7 minus 2 squared. I have an exponent here, so I want to do that first. So I have 7 minus 4 plus 17 all over. And then at the bottom, I have negative 14 plus 2 times 5. 2 times 5 would come first. So I have negative 14 plus 10. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and keep going and do my next step, which would be 7 minus 4. And 7 minus 4 is 3. So I have 3 plus 17. And then all over negative 14 plus 10. And that's going to give me negative 4. Then I have 3 plus 17, and it's 20 over negative 4. And now I can do my division. 20 divided by negative 4 is a negative 5. Okay, so let's look at number 17. So for number 17, we have absolute value bars here, and we have parentheses. Those are both grouping symbols, remember. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start solving with the leftmost grouping symbol. So I'm going to start here at 8 minus 5. So 8 minus 5 is 3. So I have 3 cubed minus, now I'm going to go ahead and work in here. 5 squared is 25 minus 4 to the third is 64. And then divided by 3. Okay, so the next step, I have 3 to the third power, which is 27. And then I'm going to do the next part of the grouping symbol, so minus 25 minus 64. It's the absolute value of negative 39 divided by 3. All right, so I have 27 minus the absolute value of negative 39 divided by 3. So the absolute value of negative 39 is 39. Okay, so next I'm doing multiplication division from left to right. So I'm going to do 39 divided by 3, and that is 13. And then 27 minus 13 is 14. Okay, so I'm going to have you try, let's do 18, 19, and 20. So pause the video and try those ones. All right, for 18, once you do all of your work here, you should get an answer of 58. For 19, you should get an answer of negative 14 over 3. You can leave your answer as a fraction. It's going to keep it the most exact. So the work for this one, you're going to have 25 minus 81 all over 8 minus 5 times 36 divided by 9. All right, so then we have negative 56 all over 3 times 4. And that's negative 56 divided by 12, which when I reduce that fraction, I end up with negative 14 thirds. Okay, for number 20, you should have gotten 53. Keep in mind when you're solving this, that when you're doing this negative absolute value of this, so negative 9 minus 10 is negative 19. You're taking the absolute value of the negative 19, which would be 19, but there's a negative value out front, so that would stay. So this would stay negative 19 plus the rest of the problem. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and you can try 21, 22, 23, and 24 pause your video, try them, and then come back. All right, so for 21, you have multiple grouping symbols. So make sure you're doing this part first, and then you're doing the outside part. So I'm going to leave my 20 squared divided by, and I have 3 times 5 times 9, 5 minus 9, which is -4 squared plus 2. And then you go ahead and do your -4 squared, which is 16. Okay, and then we're going to keep following our order of operations inside of our braces here. So we have 16 times 3. 16 times 3 is 48. Okay, so we have 20 squared divided by 50. 400 divided by 50 is 8. Okay, so for 22, same idea, grouping before you do the bigger grouping. So we have 12 and then our brace, our bracket, and we have 30 minus 4 squared is 16. And then all divided, the absolute value of 10 is 10, minus the absolute value of 6, or -6 is 6. Okay, then we're going to do 9 plus 16. And that's 25. And 10 minus 6 is 4. 30 minus 25. It's 5. 12 times 5 is 60. Divided by 4 is 15. Right, so for number 23, when you solve that, you should have gotten -61. And for number 24, when you solve that, you should have gotten -5/3. Okay, so if you have questions on any of the ones that I didn't show work for, please let me know. Otherwise, go ahead and work on your practice activity for this.